waiting for the Huff Quakes, Air Force Ones and Duns.
I've been here for like a day and a half.
But I waited in line physically since, I would say, Wednesday morning.
I want to help them out. Give them a bed or something like that. I feel really bad that they have to wait. The kids are troopers, man. They have fun on the line though. We hang out with them and talk to them, and it's a little culture.
Every shoe tells a story about the legends that rocked them.
Bobby Jones was a 6'10" Greyhound, man. Jump on you most of the time.
The fans who copped them.
Nike Blazer, 1973.
And the artists that created them.
Put a little jazz in it, a little red, a little blue, little...
And the kicks that created a culture.
It was because it was what we needed. We needed those basketball sneakers that were cool enough to wear in the street.
Question: how does a shoe become an icon? How does a game become a culture? And how does the culture of that game become embodied in a pair of kicks? Go back 25 years and you'll find the answers to all those questions. That's when a Nike designer named Bruce Kilgore first created the Air Force Ones, a shoe created for the courts that would eventually rule the streets.
I think because of when the time period the Air Force One came out, 25 years ago, and the development of hip-hop and the hip-hop culture, the Air Force One became the staple icon shoe.
So many different elements were happening at the time that it was made. One major thing was hip-hop music that embraced it, and you could almost say that if hip-hop didn't survive, the Air Force One might have not survived either.
Urban culture made them the freshest sneakers in the world. Because inner city kids dictate what fashion is amongst kids, they just started to pick up and go crazy.
Today's kid doesn't collect baseball cards. It's, I'm going to collect the newest, rarest shoe.
People spend a lot of money on art, and I equate art to sneakers often.
When I was in Japan, the linens dropped. I bought 11 pair and didn't think anything of it. When I got back, people were like, "Did you see the linen Air Force Ones?" I was like, "Yeah, I got 10 pair." They were like, "I'll buy them." And these were store owners going, "I'll buy them all just so I can have some in my store." And I was just like, what's the hysteria about?
You got magazines entirely devoted to sneakers. You got websites. You got New York Times doing sneaker articles on stores.
Over here we have the Air Force section, which is probably one of the favorite sections amongst a lot of our consumers here in New York.
This looks perfect. There's absolutely no mistakes. Unless you've worn them too much and then they're dirty.
But from a design standpoint, the Air Force One is just classic because it's just, I'm going to say this a lot, it's a silhouette.
You can wear this with a dress suit. You can wear this, I've worn Air Force Ones to weddings.
It's just a very clean design that I think lasted over the years.
By the mid-'80s, the AF1 was a staple of ball players and urban players alike. MCs who rhymed on the corners were rocking ones. And the cats who rocked rims wore them too.
And then when it comes to like playground style and sneaker culture and all these other things that have been born out of the parks, the asphalt, we call it hallowed ground.
I'm coming out for jump ball, they call my name out. Got my Air Force Ones on, and everybody in the stands know, wow, them Air Force Ones. You must can play if you got Air Force Ones on.
You had to have unbelievable skills in order to survive it, especially to be known later on as a legendary basketball player.
I played on Elm Court teams and citywide basketball teams, and it was just a great shoe to play basketball in. The problem was you gave it to some inner city kids, and we thought they were cooler than your average sneaker. So it was like, oh wow, those are great for basketball. But damn, it looks cool with that strap hanging.
Today, the Air Force One is a canvas, like soul expression. 1,700 different styles, 1,700 different ways to stay laced.
Because we used to cut up our sneakers. We cut off the logo and cut off the stripes. And, we didn't want to just accept what the sneaker companies gave to us because it wasn't enough. I mean, back then in the 70s, it wasn't like new colors were coming out once a month. New colors were coming out once a year.
I grew up in the 70s and I wore my shoes so they were absolutely done worn. And the one thing that, my mom, my brothers and all that, they were like, well, you could just change your laces and make them dope, hip them up.
somebody had a crazy lace job, boom. Next thing what do? You start drawing on your shoes. So then people are like, whoa, okay, now we just gotta start switching it up. That's when you saw the progression of sneakers.
How you gonna make a sneaker last? Alright, well, first, you can dog it out, because we all ball players, so it's kind of hard to save our sneakers. So you paint it, give it a new life. When I had the Air Force One in 83, 84, my Lower Merion Aces, everybody on my squad got Air Force Ones in burgundy and gray, because that's the first color. So now I paint my stripe burgundy. Now I got the only kid on the squad with burgundy sneakers. So now I'm special. Now the other kids on the other team looking at me like, yo, who's that kid with the burgundy Air Force One? You can't buy those in the stores.
Growing up in the suburbs, for me, kids had cars. And you got a car, you hooked up your car. That was your identity. In the city, nobody's got a car. So it's like, boom, these are your cars.
This is your car, and you gotta walk to wherever you go.
And you're trying to get recognized.
Because I bought sneakers to be fresh, and I still buy sneakers to be fresh. I want to be fresher. I want to look cooler than everybody.
I got the edge. I'm always trying to get the edge. I'm a New Yorker.
I mean, that they call that like snapping necks or breaking necks. You know, just like when people's necks just break from looking at your sneakers.
You know, our terms, it's just a little more hood.
It's a style thing. It's everything. It's like just gotta be special. You know, I want to be special.
From the court to the culture to you, Air Force One is worldwide. Just like the game, it represents.
Hey, 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 once, hey, 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 once, hey, once.